Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Morning and evening routines set you up for success. This is the preparation. You need to be successful first and foremost, but also fucking confident as a man. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to day 9 of the 30-day challenge inside of the free Uncaged group. Very excited about this one. We're talking about the morning and evening routines, and there's a lot of reasons behind this. Before we hop into it, I want to talk about how detrimental some of this can be. All right, when it goes to having our confidence, when we say we're going to do something and actually accomplishing it, and then how that affects the rest of our day. Now, when it comes to self-confidence and you being able to accomplish the goals that you have for the rest of the day, and you do not accomplish one of your tasks, it actually gives you a 25% decrease in your confidence in actually accomplishing the following task. Not only that, is it gives you a 30% decreased motivation and inspiration in actually completing the following tasks. Throughout that process, it also does affect you mentally from 20% to 40%. It actually drags you down, okay? It pulls you down 20 to 40% on your efficiencies for everything else that happens the rest of the day. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is actually a good thing is when this happens, when we catch ourselves to start to fall off. And the reason that we are so adamant about having really, the way I should be saying it, is an evening routine and a morning routine, because the evening routine is like part one, because it sets you up for success the next day. But then it really is accomplishing the goals in the very beginning part of the day that pushes this momentum and protects us from being drugged down by all these percentages that I just talked about. But the good news is when we start to see ourselves slip, let's regroup ourselves, because even if it is a small task that we say, okay, we need to have a come to Jesus meeting with ourselves. Let's give ourselves this goal that we need to get accomplished, and then let's move on from there in a positive foot. That will actually increase 10 to 20% your succession rate for the following tasks. So I just want to say that it is very, very vital that we have these, again, evening routines and morning routines down pat, because these set us up for success. I can tell you that there has been day after day after day when I woke up and I did not want to go to the gym. I had every excuse not to go. I mean, hell, yesterday I literally had to go to the urgent care and get a steri strip put on a gash in my head. And I went back to the gym because it was something that is important to me, because I know that when I go to the gym, because it's something that I said I want to do and is important to me, the way I show up to everything else is that much more important. I hate time stamping our videos here. Y'all know that if you listen to our podcast. But yesterday, this happened. And I went to the gym. This happened. Went to urgent care. Got it fixed. Went back to the gym. Because that's who I am. And that's how I wanted to show up for the rest of the day. Later that day, we get on a phone call with an Olympian gold medalist that was literally listed as the fastest man on the planet, the only person in that type of atmosphere to beat Usain Bolt. And I showed up like a bad motherfucker on that call, because I was a bad motherfucker, because I said I wanted to go to the gym, and I wasn't going to let any fucking excuse keep me from doing that. And now what happens? All these excuses pop up. No, don't go to the gym. Don't read the book. Don't do your morning routine. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't set up your critical tasks for the day. All these excuses come out. But then what happens when you do them? Like I have had every excuse or reason or doubt in my head in the mornings not to go to the gym. But I've never, ever fucking walked out of that motherfucker and be like, damn, you know what? I shouldn't have come today. Never. I don't care if it's forcing myself to sit down and read in my books, personally or professional development. I've had all the excuses in the world. Like, you could be using this time for more efficient things. You could be doing other stuff. But I've never gotten done with them and been like, man, I just wasted a bunch of time. So, a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about here, and I'm going to re-show you my calendar, but in a different limelight based on what we're talking about today. And the reason is because I want you guys to be more efficient. And again, I truly believe that, some of the guys that we've been coaching in the big ass problem coaching, and so once you make it into VIP, you get access to taking on, some additional opportunities with getting one-on-one coaches and stuff like that, is that the conversation's changed. You talk about having a morning routine and having an evening routine. And the thought process when you talk about it like that, it's like, all right, cool. I wake up in the morning, I focus on my morning routine. And then I go to bed, and it's like the concept is wrapping up the day and ending the day. And that's only half of the focal point of what your evening routine is. It needs to be wrapping up the day, putting a pretty bow on it, and saying, hey, you did it, bro. Today was a success. But the other half of it is getting you ready to be successful for the following day. It's so much so that, like, I literally, when I wake up, I do a 30-30-30 program where I'm up within 30 minutes, I'm 30 grams of protein, and then followed by 30 minutes of steady state cardio. And so for me to successfully set myself up so that I don't have excuses, or I don't see myself falling off, or I'm not being efficient with my morning, I lay out my clothes for that the following evening. So, like, it is setting me up for success. So when I wake up, boom, I'm straight to it. We're out the door. There's no thought process that actually has to happen, right? And so it's stuff like that that is actually going to be setting you up. And the reason that we have morning routines and evening routines set up the way that we do. And one of the things that I really, 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 really want to focus on is, and I can't tell you how critical this is, and what we've seen on some of the smallest scale and the simplest fixes for some of the men inside of Uncaged, both in VIP and the free group, is stop fucking hitting the snooze button. Stop fucking hitting the snooze button. That snooze button is a thief of your success. Those statistics I talked about at the very beginning of that, it wrecks the rest of your day. It wrecks the way that you look yourself in the face. How are you going to look yourself in the mirror in the morning and say, you know what? I'm confident. I'm going to win today. When you told yourself last night that you wanted to wake up at 6 in the morning, and then you had to give yourself a 6:05, a 6:10, a 6:15, a 6:20, a 6:25, finally 6:30, okay, I'm up. How do you have any confidence? How? And I'm not saying that there's not strategies to get there. There's several guys that are working through this in the group as we speak, putting the phone across the room so that you got to get up and actually actively go get it, right? There's even some apps where you have to solve math problems to quit your alarm. There's some creative alarms I've seen out there where you have to, like, shoot a target or something to shut the alarm off. I don't care what you got to do, but we are teaching ourselves that when our alarm goes off, because when daddy said it's time to wake up, we get the fuck up and we get going on our day. Because if we don't, that mental drag is going to affect us. Our self-confidence on us accomplishing the next task is going to pull us down harder and harder and harder. And guys, I can't stress enough, Atomic Habits is an incredible book to read when it comes to creating habits like this. Again, these morning and evening routines are habits. Selfish plug, and I don't mean it outside of any other way than I truly am convicted that it pairs very well with Atomic Habits, but one foot in front of the other, the book. These two combined are powerhouses when it comes to creating new habits, creating new neurocycles, and truly setting yourself up with understanding that it's these little steps that you take throughout the day that take you to the next level in your life. So a lot of this is the preparation. Like, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Morning and evening routines set you up for success. This is the preparation. You need to be successful first and foremost, but also fucking confident as a man. How are you going to tell yourself you're going to wake up and go to the gym and you don't do it? You tell yourself tomorrow, you're going to wake up and you're going to go to the gym and you don't do it. Then you tell yourself you're going to wait until Monday, and Monday comes around and you don't do it. You tell yourself you're going to wait till the first of the month, and the first of the month comes around and you don't do it. You tell yourself you're going to do it on January 1st, and then January 1st comes around and you don't do it. How do you look yourself in the mirror? How do you think that any of this stuff that we're doing in this 30-day challenge you'll ever be able to accomplish? You don't. You've told yourself that you're not a man of your word. So I am praying here that these evening routines and these morning routines that will set you up for success, that will give you the tools that you need to walk into tomorrow successful, with the weapons that you need to take on the enemy, which is tomorrow, and which is achieving your goals. These are the tools to do so. These are the weapons you need in your arsenal. So I'm going to hop into it and I'll show you what my calendar looks like. And I'm going to talk through why my morning routine and my evening routine is set up the way that it is, okay? So the first thing that I do is I wake up and I do my devotion. Now, this process, I told you I'm in my 30-30-30, so I could probably change some of the titles of this because I actually do my devotion while I'm walking. But I wake up, as soon as I'm up, like I said, I laid my outfit out the night before. So I'm dressed in literally 2 minutes. I brush my teeth, I chug my egg whites, and then I get right out the door. I throw my weighted vest on. Through this process, not only am I actually doing my devotion, I get done with my devotion in about 10 minutes. Outside of that 10 minutes, I'm making specific posts that I have. As you can see, I have specific posts on specific days that are associated to this. And then I'm doing some of my follow-ups. From there, we have phone free time because we're spending time with Lottie, getting her up, getting her to school. And then we get her taken to school. From there, I am prepping for the gym, in the gym, driving to the gym. I am gym related during this time, but all from, basically from 7 a.m. until 11 a.m., every minute of my day is associated to something that is personal and professional. At the end of the day, I'm not doing these currently because I'm doing the 30-30-30, but we also have cleanup and get ready for dinner. Our dinner times, the way I'll get into that and the way we do our dinner here in a second. I have phone free time. I'm pouring back into the family. I'm doing my reading, and then I do my critical task review. So this is basically what I'm doing is I'm making sure that all the critical tasks during the day have actually gotten accomplished. And I'm also seeing what the critical tasks need to be done tomorrow. Now, I have the critical task accountability program. Again, that's something that if you're in VIP, you get to take it to the next level by signing up for our CTAP program. And so this is a tool that allows me to do so, but then I'm going to bed. I have my specific, supplement routine, brushing my teeth, taking my shower, spending time with Heather and stuff like that. That's done here. But all this stuff right here is dedicated to my morning routine, and all this stuff here is dedicated to my evening routine, okay? This is the way I operate. This might not work best for you, but this is what works best for me. But this is to give you some sort of gears rolling and saying, hey, man, I could do this. I could change this. I could move this from here to here. I could make whatever associations that there are that will work around my schedule, will work with my family dynamic, and will fall in line with what we learned yesterday on how to time block specific tasks and prepare me for the following day so that I can wake up and I can get straight to work and be successful. Now, with anything, at first, you need to keep these as simple as possible so that you can be as successful as possible. Like I said, when you start to go throughout this process and you start to find yourself slacking off, even setting simple goals, very, very simple goals, whether it's a critical task, you name it, writing it on a piece of paper, using the critical task accountability program if you're in VIP, whatever that looks like, setting very small goals to help you get back on track will help increase your confidence and your succession rate by 10 to 20% for what is coming. So there are actual strategies here, psychologically proven strategies and science behind why this works. I'm not just making this stuff up. Not only have I studied the psychology and the science behind it, but I've applied it to my life. I am a case study on this shit works. I could scream this from the mountaintops because I'm so convicted about this because I want to see you win. We're giving this information out for free. Not only that, I've talked to you about the law of averages, and I get excited when I see the people that are around me fucking winning because I know that I'm next. The law of averages. The better that we all are individually, the better we will be collectively. The better we all are collectively, the better we will be individually. Uncaged, we're just growing around here. And it's little stuff like this, small tweaks to your day-to-day life, setting an actual evening routine. At first, again, maybe you're just setting something simple. Wake up and take your supplements. Wake up and have a healthy breakfast. Go to bed and read. Go to bed and say your prayers. Go to bed and do your devotion, whatever the case is. Setting little goals. And then you start to develop, very much like what we talked about yesterday on creating your time blocks and having the focal time to really be thinking about, in theory, how should this work? And then you set these morning and evening routines based on what theoretically you believe in your soul is going to set you up for success for your day. And then try it. And if that doesn't work as efficiently as it should, make your adjustments, come back to it. And then you're going to go and you're going to do this for 21 days and create the habit. And then you're going to go and run this for the average of 66, 69 days, 68 days, and create a new neurocycle. And you're going to get this stuff down to the point where you run on autopilot. Your success is on autopilot. You wake up in the morning and I don't have to check my schedule to know to do my devotion while I'm walking. I do it because it's a neurocycle that I've created. It is now the way my brain is hardwired to work. How efficient can you be when you start to apply things like this in your life? Right? Decision paralysis is a thing. As human beings, especially as entrepreneurs and fucking men, we make so many, like 10,000 decisions per day. Towards the end of the evening, we actually get decision paralysis. It's the same reason why you can't decide what you want to eat for dinner when your wife asks you, but also why your wife can't make the decision because she's made so many decisions in the day. And that's why something so simple like what do you want for dinner becomes a fight. It's called decision paralysis. So when you start to add efficiencies in your life, which is what we are focused on in this 5-day window of the 30-day challenge, is when you start to find more efficient ways, you start eliminating decisions that you have to make. I don't have to wake up and decide to go walk. I don't wake up and decide to consume 30 grams of protein. I don't decide to do my devotion while I'm walking. I don't decide to make a post inside of the Uncaged free group while I'm walking. It has now eliminated these decisions. I don't decide to put the clothes out the night before, which eliminates too waking up in the morning and having to decide what to wear. Mark Zuckerberg, it was a joke a long time ago. Mark Zuckerberg used to wear the same like acid washed fucking shitty pants and like gray t-shirt every day. And the psychology that he had behind it is it actually eliminated 11 decisions that he had to make day in and day out that ultimately made zero effect on anything that he did inside of his organization. Like when you start to study these guys that are in such massive levels, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, how do they operate? What do they do? What are they creating inside their life to become more efficient? And how can I replicate it? Things like this are what matters. Things are like this are what gets you. If you'll watch the podcast at all, it's, you know, the journey to the top 1%. How do we get there? It's by becoming 1% better daily. Shit like this is how you do it. It becomes a cognitive thought process when you first start. Before the habit's made, before the new neurocycle, it's work. Oh shit, man, I forgot to take my supplements. I did it today. I'm on a new shot regimen for some of the vitamins that I'm taking. I'm taking sub-Q injections into my stomach every day, Monday through Friday. It's a new process for me. Typically when I take my hormone replacement, it's, you know, every Friday. Like that's my day for me. It's a neurocycle. I know every Friday we're taking our testosterone. We're taking everything that we got to take. But I'm on some new sub-Q injections or Monday through Friday. And so theoretically, when I get back from my walk, that's when I take it prior to taking Lottie to school. But it still is so new. This started on Monday. So this is still so new for me that like it is a thought process. But once we get outside of the 21 days and it becomes a habit, it still is, if you've read my book or if you watch any of our podcast or content, you know, like there's a big difference between me and a habit at 21 days and a neurocycle at 68 days on average, right? There's a big difference. It still is a thought process, even though it's a habit. It is still something that you actively think about. Once you get past that and it becomes a new neurocycle, it's the same psychology to when you get home from work and you're like, how did I get home? Right? You were on autopilot. Or even if you're so used to going a specific way for a specific thing that you do and you're going on a vacation, which is completely outside of the typical norm for your day-to-day life, and you actually accidentally go the wrong way and instead of taking this exit because you're on autopilot. That's the neurocycle, when things start to operate without you actively thinking about it. This is the stuff that is going to create these new neurocycles for you. These efficiency tests are going to allow you to start operating like a fucking elite level human fucking being. Don't skimp on this. Create. I don't care if you write it down on a piece of paper. I don't care if you use the documents that I provide for your homework. I don't care if you write it out on a Word document, bar napkin, whatnot. Get this done. Give yourself a morning routine and give yourself an evening routine so you can wake up tomorrow and get the fuck to work. We'll see you tomorrow.